All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So what I'm going to call this podcast is Let Her Come to You. If you know anything about me, I try to help men master their self-confidence when it comes to meeting women, also with wardrobe, hygiene, fitness, and other things as well. But the last few podcasts I've been doing, I've been really kind of concentrating on helping men. One was about not having to feel under pressure asking a woman out on a date or asking for her phone number when first meeting them. More or less just finding out who they are, where they hang out, and with maybe the possibility in the future meeting up or connecting on social media. Also when dating, a lot of times if you're on a date, not always thinking that you have to make the first move with the guy. Or you have to have sex in a certain amount of time with the woman, or you have to give her a kiss at the end of the night, or whatever that is. Learn to just go at your own pace. You don't have to follow anyone's rules. But in this one, Let Her Come to You, you know, I talk a lot of times, and people I think get upset when I say throw women into the friend zone when first meeting them, especially if you're interested in them, because I believe a lot of times women are throwing you into the friend zone, which makes sense, because they first have to know who the hell you are. Not always. A lot of times, you know, things are rushed. You may have sex very quickly, one night stand, or may have sex in the first few dates. Whatever the case may be, it is what it is. But in my case, it's the long game when meeting women. I really do want to find out who they are, if they truly are somebody I'm interested in doing things with, spending time with. I can trust them and all these different types of things. Because I think a lot of men feel like they have to be the ones always chasing. And I always say, look over your shoulder, who's chasing you? Most likely not many people, especially women. Women usually know that the men chase them, or are if they're interested in them, to come to them, right? And I get it. That's the game, right? Because I definitely think women, that's one of the things they have definitely mastered. Now, that does not mean by any means women don't chase men. That's ridiculous. I think we all, you know, kind of, to a certain degree, all kind of chase one another in some way or another. There's a funny saying, what is it? Men chase women until women catch the man. I think it's something like that. I may have screwed it up, but who the hell knows? But in this case, you know, if you know how to play your cards right, I'm just telling you, and you start getting confidence, and this is one of the things I teach in my program, where you start truly believing in yourself, women are going to come to you. I'm just telling you right now, especially if you start becoming friends with a lot of women. You're going to build a lot of trust with them. And that doesn't mean I'm saying all the women you're sleeping with, or women that you're dating, or friends with benefits or anything. I'm just saying in general, by being friends with a lot of women, and they know you're cool, and you know you have their back, and if something went down, you're truly a friend. You're not just using them. They're not a one-off. It's not like you just want to have sex with them and kind of figure it out from there, or have one-night stands, or just maybe go on a few dates and kind of use them, or you ghost them, and or you dump a lot of different women's, or on social media you're seen with a ton of different women, but you could tell it's kind of like you're just kind of, you know, it's cool if you want to, you know, if you want to be a player, be a player. If you want to be a pickup artist, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. But I do think you got to understand, a lot of times people do talk. So I'd rather have a good reputation with women than a bad. That's just me. But if you learn how to take your time, again, with women, they're going to come to you. Because I'll tell you one thing, if you're around or you're friends with a lot of beautiful women, it's just natural that other women are going to want to know why you have beautiful friends, right? It's kind of obvious. Or just very intelligent friends, or you're just around women and you look very comfortable. That again doesn't mean you're making out with them in pictures, or you're drunk all the time, or doing stupid shit. I'm talking about like being respected. That's what I'm talking about. And if you can be looked upon this way, you're going to be shocked again at how many women are going to start pursuing you. Now, you don't know this yet, most likely, unless you've perfected that. But a lot of men can't even fathom that women would come, not chase them, but would ask actually them out, or want to be a part of what they're doing, or meet up with them. Not like a lot of dudes I know. You know, it's a numbers game a lot of times. Even if they want to go somewhere, a lot of guys will message 10 women, right? And just see who can go do something with them, or who's going to meet out with them. It's not going to be like that. What's going to happen is, in my opinion, and this is one of the things I teach in my program, it's about meeting the, you know, certain amount of women, and then them having friends that are women, and then them having friends that are women. But again, it's not a scam type thing. You actually are somebody who's interested in hanging out with women once in a while, not just dudes, but also being friends with them. And also a lot of times too, women that you may not even at one point, or you may not even think at one time, some of these girls that are your friends, you may end up dating. You may end up hitting it off with. It may not be at the point in time where you became friends. It could be down the road. You build a relationship or a friendship with them that ends up in a relationship. And what's very nice about that is it was very comfortable and casual, where a lot of times when you meet women, ask them out, go on dates, it's very rushed, forced. A lot of times you don't know one another, or sometimes for a certain amount of time you're not acting the way you normally act. But by becoming friends again and just being cool, they're going to start pursuing you. I'm telling you, even if you're friends with them, and if as time goes on they find you more and more interesting, they're going to come to you again. I'm just telling you this. But most men don't understand this because, again, they like to chase. In life, I'm just saying, I think what's happening a lot of times with men and women is, one is it's become very accessible, which is kind of a strength, I think. So if you go on an app, a dating website, or social media, you can meet women quickly, right? And you can meet up with them quickly, and you can do things very quickly. That part of it's very interesting. Now, is that good or bad? I guess it's how you use it, right? It just depends on what you want out of it. And maybe I'm kind of old school with certain things, but here's the thing too, like if you use Tinder, for instance, or an app like that to meet women, God bless you if that's what works, but it still doesn't mean you have to rush things. I know it's kind of known for, say, a hookup, right? But you can turn that into a positive just meeting, and this goes for women as well. I always said I think Tinder or even dating websites, a lot of times, as long as they're cool, you get to meet certain people if you want, right? That does not mean you have to sleep with them. And it's kind of interesting because you get to see what everybody kind of does. You get to follow them a little more. You see their name, where they work, who they hang out with. You could even stalk them a little bit on Google or other social media platforms, and that's all great, right? That's cool. But again, using those tools to your advantage, but not letting those tools hurt you. A lot of times I think a lot of people get taken advantage of when using those type of platforms. They get used, they could be used sexually. They could be manipulated. They could think, things are a certain way when they're not always, instead of actually taking the time that is needed to truly build up friendships. If you look at your life, I don't care if it's with your buddies, even I don't care if it's family members, colleagues, or whatever, it takes time to build that bond. It's not instant. Now, sometimes you can meet a friend or a girl or whatever, and you just hit it off, and it's boom. It's like lightning in a bottle. It's awesome, and it works out. But those are far and few between, because a lot of times what you think is great at the beginning, in relationships especially, the honeymoon phase, the first, could be 6 months or a year or whatever, when, things are always going great, things change, as you know that. So don't take for, granted, or don't think it's always, I should say, going to be that way. But back to having women want you, you could definitely, become somebody where you're interested and where you are somebody that is kind of sought after by women. And that doesn't mean you're going to use them. That doesn't mean you're a pickup artist. That just means you know how to hold your own. You know how to respect women. You know how to enjoy the moment with them. You're not an asshole all the time. You're not talking down to them. You're not if you don't get your way, you don't pout. All these different types of things are going to make women, desire you more if you're not an asshole. I mean, it's kind of that simple. And I talk a lot about that actually in my book, Wingman, where a lot of men don't realize a lot of things they're doing. They're just turning women off. It could even be drinking too much, smoking, swearing, their language. Now, I'm not telling you to change your entire identity, but one of the reasons women don't, if you don't have a lot of women either complimenting you on your clothes or talking about, that they like the way you present yourself, or, complimenting you in general. I don't care where it is, and enjoy being around you, and even telling you, God, I like being around you, or reaching out to you, you're the problem. You have got to turn that around if you're interested in women. If you're the one who always has to, seek them and always kind of lie or manipulate or bullshit, that's actually, that makes no sense. You don't have to be that way. But you have to become self-aware to understand you have to have a different approach. Because a lot of times men that get rejected a lot, ghosted, dumped, and all this, their approach sucks. You have got to acknowledge that. It's just like anything else in life. But you could definitely make women want you. You just have to learn how to do that. So that's one of the things I actually teach in my program. So if you want to know more, it's masteringselfconfidence.com, or you could go to richcelenzapodcast.com. But definitely start thinking about how women could desire you more instead of you always desiring them. Okay? All right, take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.